Welcome back, my people. Matters are rising. New update about Amaka in Canada. So allegedly, Amaka sued Abike Dabiri, the chairman of Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, for $500,000 over selective justice. So last Monday, they were in court where Amaka presented a lot of evidence of what prompted her to say what she said about Yorubas and Benin. So at the end of the court proceedings, Amaka and her lawyers sued Abike Dabiri over selective justice, my people. This matter is really getting interesting. So let me allow you guys to listen to this man who Daddy Freeze interviewed, and he was present in the court in Canada where this matter took place. And also in this video, you get to hear the discussion in this Daddy Freeze platform where this Yoruba man was, telling the history who brought about this tribalism and tribal bigotry in Nigeria.
Was it on Monday? On Monday, she was supposed to come in person into court, but it was a public holiday, so the court session was held, but she had to join via Zoom. So one of the people that attended couldn't stay all day. They didn't know when she was going to be called for trial. So in the end, people were told to go home if they want to go and can join via Zoom. So the following day, which we also expected, she eventually appeared, and she was represented by her lawyers, not just one lawyer, two lawyers to represent her, because of the gravity of the case, and it was the safest thing to do for her as well. So in the end, she was granted bail. She was allowed to go back home. But there's going to be another session for her sometime next month. I have not confirmed the date, but she's going to reappear in court for the continuation of the trial. So this is the amazing thing, and I have to say, we should all learn from what happened to Amaka. Things can easily go viral, even when you mean it or when you don't mean it. So in the end, she was able to defend herself about the comments, why she made it, and she also apologized that she didn't really mean what she said, which was the safest thing to do as well. But it was very funny because the court had to give her the bail or grant her the bail because she also, her lawyers brought so many instances and evidences where people have made similar. They were never invited, they were never arrested. It was just taken lightly. So our case was, why was she singled out for the same thing when people have made maybe even worse threats on social media? Unfortunately for her, her own case was taken out and it trended. And we know nowadays in the social media world, if you mistakenly trend for the wrong things, you will most likely get the unwanted attention, which is what happened to her. But she was able to bring instances from as far as Austria and some other European countries where people made, so it was accepted in court. And the funny thing, I mean, the first thing, or maybe the thing that most of us didn't expect, one of our lawyers actually, I'm sure this is not even in any social media space or media space at the moment. One of our lawyers actually sued Abike Dabiri, who is the the chairman of the
diaspora people's yes, Auntie Abike.
Yes, the diaspora body. So she's the head, and one of the lawyers sued her for $500,000. And you'll be wondering, why was Abike Dabiri sued? Which is the question that I asked. Why did you sue Abike Dabiri? So the case, of course, when it comes to court, forget the emotions, forget the hearsay. You need to present the facts. You need to present the evidence. You should be able to prove whatever you are bringing to the table. So the lawyer argued that Abike Dabiri singled out Amaka when other people have made similar comments outside of Nigeria. Because people will say, well, people make so many threats every day in Nigeria, it all goes away, nobody follows up. In truth, Abike Dabiri is not responsible for what happens inside Nigeria. She's responsible for what happens outside of Nigeria. So Just a second. 1 second.
Omoga, we are just hearing this update for the first time. Sue Abike. But you know, law can take a very funny turn.
Hello, Daddy Freeze?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry about that. So, Abike Dabiri was one of the lawyers. He had 2 lawyers. So one of the lawyers sued Abike for singling out her when others have done similar things. So the funny thing is, the courts or the Canadian government, according to the polls that I have also decided to write particularly the Austrian government, because one of the evidences she put out was that people do the same thing, and she was simply playing amongst her friends who also make similar comments. She was caught in the heat of the moment and simply made it, and she didn't mean it. And she also apologized for making unguarded comments on social media. So, of course, the Canadian government, with the investigation going on, they've already written the Austrian government to follow up on the other people who made similar comments in that country, if it is true or not, and what the Austrian government did about it. So, I think it's still developing. She still has another day in court. But in the end, with my own understanding and with the arguments that she presented, she may just have avoided a jail time. Because in Canada, according to the law, when you issue a threat, you may go, you may be sentenced to 2 to 5 years in prison. The minimum you get is 2. And the maximum you get is 5. But you have to be found guilty of actually making...
Bye.
Sorry about that.
Buy threats.
So if you make a threat to buy anybody, then you can actually get in Ontario, by the way, because Canada has different laws in different provinces.
Yes.
But in Ontario, it could be up to 2 to 5 years. So that's the latest from my findings. Haven't gone to the court and also followed the story. So it's going to be...
Where was the court located? What part of Canada is the court located?
So the court is the Ontario Court of Justice at Finch Avenue West in North York, Ontario.
Okay, so you actually went to the court yourself, and
yes, I was in the court on Monday, and I was there on Monday. I was even surprised because I've been to the court only once. So for this particular one, because of the interest that it generated... Hold on 1 second, sorry.
Man, breaking news, oh.
Yeah, that's Freeze.
Yes, I can hear you.
My kid just came back from school, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's yummy. So I was there. Yeah, I've only been to the court once. So when I went there the second time, I was surprised with the number of people. In fact, let me say Nigerians that came to the court because of the interest that it garnered all over social media. So they were there to, see the lady in question, hear her, and, there were also mixed reactions, mixed comments, mixed opinions about what she did. Many actually believed that she didn't mean what she said. And to be fair with you, and to be very sincere with you, I don't think she meant what she was saying on social media. But, in Yoruba, they used to say something, I don't know how to translate it, You can't just, can't see anything you like on social media because it's others are saying it, or you just want to have an effect. Because according to what I heard from the TikTok live, they just took out that part. They took out that part and they made it trend. There was a conversation ongoing before that, and she was just caught. She was caught between saying things that could also ginger his own fellow, or also get back at people saying something similar. And of course, it was taken out of context. Even though it's hard to say it was taken out of context, because it was clear what she said about, paying people of Yoruba and Benin descent in Nigeria, at workplace, and stuff. So yeah, it's basically what it is at the moment. So on the day so many people came, the interest was huge. In fact, they were surprised at the call, like, okay, what's happening here? Today's a public holiday. Why is everybody coming? So everybody got to know that it was actually her case. But in court, they can't, even though they gave the time as 10 up,
We're breaking.
Issue with courts, police, and hospital. That prayer, you always say amen, no? Different people with different wahala of life, different crime. At times the crown will say, okay, this one, you are going to be remanded. This one, you are released. Different issues. It was just, in my mind, I'm like, man, I know the funny thing, some were even joining. For our own case, she also joined from the cell because she couldn't come in person. So I'm sure that there's a last screen in the solitary cell. You join, you speak. If you don't want to speak, your lawyer speaks, and the crown makes a decision or his decision on what to do next. But in our own case, she was granted bail, and the case will still continue in court next month.
Okay, I sent you a picture. Is that her being held by police? I sent it to you. Oops, I sent it to my Suya guy. Sorry. Bolarinwa. Okay, I'm forwarding the picture to you. Let me delete it from. Is this her?
No, this is not her. This is fake.
Oh, okay. That is not her.
No, this is not her.
Oh.
Nowadays, okay. You don't believe everything you see on social media. It doesn't even look real. This is obvious. Social media is funny. Even the picture that looks real is the one you should investigate more these days. With AI, anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Oh.
AI is make believe. You are actually going to believe it at first sight, and it's a fake picture. This one is not even hard to detect. But there are some that you are almost convinced it is the person in the picture, and it's not. So this is fake. This is fake, 100%.
Okay, I truly appreciate. Thank you very much. And please keep us posted. Me and you go to talk for the background. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bolarinwa Olajide reporting all the way from Canada, keeping us updated with what's going on. Now, what do you think Abike Dabiri's reaction would be before you go to the court case?
You mean the counter suit?
Yes. Yes.
It's not even a counter suit. It's actually a suit because Abike never sued. She just called for arrest and investigation from the Canadian police.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you see, when it comes to anything legal, law, court, I don't think even Abike Dabiri will be found guilty because at the end of the day, she can simply say
she was doing her job.
And it was not brought to me. The other cases that they claimed in other parts of the world where people made threats, she will simply say, well, based on my own knowledge and some of the, my lawyer friends, she will simply say, I wasn't aware. If I was aware, I would have followed through as well. But this one, I was aware. They gave me the details. They gave me the facts. And I followed up with, I wrote a letter to the mayor of Brampton. I wrote a letter to the Canadian police. And there was also a letter that came from the House of Rep about the same issue. So, but, lawyers would always do their job. The prosecutor, the defendant, they will always find a way. So I think it was just, the lawyer was like, okay, Abike Dabiri, you say you're doing your job, but you're not doing your job on all quarters. It's a witch hunt. You singled out Amaka for this treatment, which is not fair, and we're going to sue you for, what's the term now? Is it defamation? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they just want to sue her too for. And to be very fair, Abike got it too, and she was very swift in acting. I don't know why, but she just swung into action, wrote the letters, and it was taken up. And when it comes to country matters, countries always take it serious. If a country writes another country, they don't take it with levity; they take it very seriously. So when the letter came from the Nigerian government, the Canadian government acted. And like I said, in the same spirit, the Canadian government have also written to the Austrian government, according to reports, about some of the claims that Amaka made in her own testimony on the issue. So, yeah, at the end of the day, Abike will get her own lawyers to prove the case. And if you can't prove it that she didn't do the same to other people that said it in other countries, then she also goes free. But court matters is never ending.
Nobody can tell the way the pendulum of the court will swing.
Unless it is overwhelming, unless it is clear as day That's when the court will now make a decision and the case is put to bed.
Thank you. I would love to hear from Abike Dabiri right now. My lovely sister, please would like to hear from you. If you can come to my live, it will be nice. If not, if you can send a letter, I'll read it out. I just want to know what the update is. Now, Bolarinwa, knowing the way Canada works, and you've been in Canada for a minute, do you think that this case, whether she gets convicted or not, could affect her marketability when it comes to future prospects for getting jobs?
Well, it depends. We can't really tell until a decision is made by the courts. It's very straightforward. If the court finds her guilty, then it's going to affect her in all ramifications. If she's guilty, there's a good chance that she'll, spend jail time, and it won't be so good for her going forward. That's if she's found guilty. But if she's not found guilty, then in the eyes of the law, she has not done anything wrong. But within colleagues or friends, they may have a different opinion about her. This is now one-on-one. In the eyes of the law, she's free. So it's easy to predict that. But for now, according to the law of the country, she has been granted bail and the case is still being heard. So when we get to the end of it, then we can project what could happen to her when it comes to, a present job or future job or what she wants to do in the future. Conviction is a different thing entirely. At the moment, we can't tell until we get to that point.
Okay. Now, what if she has she hasn't gotten her citizenship? Can this prevent her from getting her permanent residency or her citizenship, as the case may be?
If she's convicted, yes, it can affect a lot of things, not just citizenship. If she's convicted or anybody is convicted for any crime, it will affect a whole lot of things in your life. So conviction is never a good thing unless you receive a pardon. But people get their permanent residency revoked. Even citizenship can also be revoked. It's possible, but the height of if you are a citizen and you get convicted of a crime, the chances of revocation is actually low, but you most likely spend the jail time in your country of citizenship. So that's how it works. It's very rare, unless maybe it's I don't know if I can mention that word, but if it's it starts with T. It starts with T-E-R.
Oh yeah. That one with the T. I get you.
If it's that one, then now you've committed a crime against the country itself.
Yeah.
So
that could have dire consequences.
Exactly. But if it's not severe, I'm not saying what she did could be severe or not. But if you check on, I'm sure it should be somewhere. Maximum penalty for threat in Ontario. Once you serve that, if you are convicted and you serve the jail time, then everything is well and good. Now it now depends on how the community sees you after that. If a conviction follows the case.
Okay, Bolarinwa, thank you so much for this. I appreciate your time. Please, it's a Friday. Go and spend time with your family and have some fun and relax. God bless you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Opportunity to clear some here about certain things which appears to be misconception. The first misconception is all about the role the Yoruba played in Nigeria having the first civilian government. I think that is where our differences start coming from, especially we that we love talking about Nigeria matter. Or who has been calling Yoruba coward, who has been calling Yoruba as Ole. Let me be using some Yoruba words so that I will not. So who has called Yoruba Ole? Who has called Yoruba Odale? Called Yoruba all sorts of names as far as certain issue is concerned when it comes to historical development in Nigeria. The first thing I need us to know is that the history about the first military government in Nigeria is deeper than we think. Number one, why Yoruba came into that picture and it now appear like they are the Ole, they are the Odale. It is not all about Igbos. It was an internal issue between Ladoke Akintola and the great Obafemi Awolowo as at that time. They were having internal party issues. And Ladoke Akintola decided to align with the Northerner, while Obafemi Awolowo decided to align with the Easterner. And that was where the first issue came from. Now, for Ladoke Akintola to affiliate with the government of the day, which were Northerner, it was simply because Awolowo was overzealous about ensuring that there is a marriage between the Eastern politician and the Western politician. And it was as a result of that that we had a reason, we had a Yoruba supporting the Northerner, and we also have another Yoruba that's supporting the Easterner. So it is not as they have told us that Yoruba were the one that gbabode for the Easterner. The Easterner were the one that cover around one boss or law. What I mean by that, they were the one that dig their hand into what their mind cannot carry. Number one, as at that time, Nigeria was operating on a civilian government platform. But the issue was that the Ojukwu, he was overzealous. He said because, and that's why I want us to also know that the INEC issue we keep talking about in this country never starts from today. It started over 60 years ago. INEC issue over 60 years ago. The first election we had was not even was not chaired by a Yoruba man. It was rather chaired by someone from Cross River. So meaning that even if we want to be practicing that kind of vexing politics we are practicing, we should have rather be we Yoruba should rather be the one vexing. That how we will first organize election after independence, and that election was neither free nor fair. Now, those that partook in that particular poll, or who chaired that particular poll, they were non-Yorubas. Meaning that when we are even talking about government instability in Nigeria, it all comes from the north and the east. That's number one. Number two, I want them all to also know that when they first carry the first coup, look at it. When they want to fight those they believe that are affecting the country, they fight the northern premier, they fight the western premier, and they also fight the head of state, and they speared the eastern leader as at that time. If we are talking about this tribalism of the thing we are talking about, we should trace it back to that time. That should be what's it called? That should be 1965, 1962. That should be when we should trace the tribalism we are talking about too. And we are even talking about how it got started. We can say the man that was overzealous in taking the government was actually the major motivator of that. How will you fight?
You know what? I think we need to talk about Biafra. What led to it? I'm going to bring a Hausa guy, I'm going to bring a Yoruba guy, and I'm going to bring an Igbo guy.
Yeah.
This is a very, very tough conversation that must be had with every stakeholder present.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
That's very nice. But I think one of the problem we have in that Nigeria is INEC, because that's my major problem. I just think INEC, they are just doing that. They are not supposed to be there.
They have to be there.
Yes, yes, but they are not doing their job.
No, that's what we said. The structure in the system will not make it work. And I think how we can start solving the issue we have on social media is what Adifri said. Let's start having a conversation around our history.
Yeah.
When we first have our history, we will be able to solve a lot of things around that. By so doing, all these kind of politics or vex that we are practicing among ourselves will first be minimized. Number two, the INEC of the thing you are talking about, I must be honest with you, sister, is beyond our comprehension, because the processes and the procedure going underground is mightier than even what us can actually imagine. But as far as the unity of this country is concerned, it's essential that every Nigerian, both the one abroad and the one at home, we should see ourselves as an entity. An Igbo man should see a Yoruba man as his friend. An Hausa man should see an Igbo man as his friend. And the only way we can get there is, let's get our history right. Let's understand that what has happened, and let's leave all those things that has happened in the past. Let's face our future is getting Nigeria to work.
So my people, that is it. I hope you guys had everything they said here, especially what happened in the court in the Canada concerning this Amaka matter. So the trials continues, my people, which is going to be next month. So there is picture that the freeze sent to this man to confirm if truly that is Amaka. But he said no, which I believe that is this picture that has been, trending. But I went to the Amaka's TikTok account and I saw her picture, which I'm going to show you guys here. So this is Amaka. So I think it's almost the same picture anyway, just because maybe there's no editing or what. But that is by the way. So make I bring this update to you guys. I don't know what you think about everything that they said here. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section, and which I'm going to definitely be bringing update concerning this Amaka case whenever I see it. I hope you really enjoy watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Goodbye for now.
Welcome to Chamber Seniors TV.